Welcome back. In the previous class, we have seen what are the differences between all the loops that are present in C++. Today, we're starting a completely new topic, which we called as arrays. Now, what are arrays and how do they work in C++? Moreover, what are the applications of arrays? Why do we need it? Everything I'll tell you in this. So this will be like an introduction to arrays and how arrays perform in C++. So in the basic sense, if I have to say, simply you can think like array is simply just a variable. All arrays are kind of variables, but there is a difference. The variable that we have learned, like for example, we write int a equal to 1. Here a is a variable. Fine. Array works a little bit differently. What does it mean? Array is a variable which stores multiple value at once. So let's say, for example, you have 30 students in a class and you want to store a record of all of the students. So you can use the help of arrays. So if, let's say, as I give the example of 30 students, so how do we write is we will write, let's say we want to store let's say the marks of all the 30 students. So we're going to write float and I'm going to give a name to the array marks. And once we have done that, we give a round bracket like this and I will write 30 inside it and give a semicolon. So in this array, the name of the array is marks, which is the name of the variable. So you can relate to a over here. Float is the data type. Here int was the data type. And 30 is the amount of students that can be present in this array. That is the maximum value of 30, which this array can have. Now, how do we declare an array? The very first thing we do is we write the data type, as I have just now wrote data type. Then we write the name of the array, just like a variable, any name you can give. Just you have to make sure you know the rules of the variables that you have learned before. And then inside the bracket here, the array's size will come, whatever size we want. So array size will come. And then we give the semicolon at the end. So this is the basic declaration of an array. If I need to write an example for this, we will write here, let's say int a7. This is an example of an declaration of an array. Now, one very common question that we get is, if I have an array, let's say if we have a is the name of an array, and we generally put numbers like this. So if I write 4, 1, 0, 2, 11, 17, 21, and 22. Suppose this is an array. This is also we can declare, like initialize and declare. So int a is the name of the array. And here we have all the numbers or the values present here. So we can give the round bracket here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 numbers are there. So I have declared it and I have also initialized it. So 8 numbers are there. Now the question is that our job is to find the numbers. That is, suppose I want to access this 11. How will I do it? Because when we have a simple variable, int a is equal to 1, I can directly find the 1. There's no problem with that. I can simply just write a anywhere and it will be equal to 1. But here if I write a only, it will not make any sense because it has all these numbers and I want only the 11. So what can I do for that? For this purpose, we have a concept in array that we called as index. Now what is this? Let me give you a very nice example for you. Imagine you want to go to your friend's home. So this is your friend's home, for example, and this is your home, for example. Now you don't know the actual address of your friend. So what will you do? You will ask him that what are the landmarks present on your, near your home, or maybe a famous place present near your home. That way you can move there. Similarly, I don't know whether where 11 is. How can I access it? But I do know the address of 11. Address. So if you know the address, you can easily get the value because I have to first go to the address before I access the value. So this address is referred as index in arrays. So basically, if I have to write this, so suppose you can think like this, that if I have the array int 8 equal to all the numbers that were present, let me write again some random numbers. Fine. Now here I wanted to access 11. How to access it? What happens is here on the top we write the index. That is the address of the array. And we start generally, that is the address is started generally with 0, then 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is how the index follows. Now you have to be very clear about this, that this is not the exact memory location present. Like for example, if you have your RAM inside your computer, 0 is not located in the 2th location. It is not like that. It will be some hexadecimal memory location. It can be anything. But for our simplicity, we consider them as this way: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I know that in this array, 11 is present on the 4th index. So if I write here A4, this should give me 11. So this number which I'm writing, the size of the array, that is actually also the index of the array. That gives the index. That is, if I'm going to this 4 in the array, it should return me the 11 because 11 is present in that particular address. Now suppose if I have this particular array, here I have, let's say, the actual address here. Now over here, if we consider this address, the very first address, I'm taking here 2120. Let's take this the very first address for this particular index. Any idea what will be the next address? We will write here 2124, not 2121. Why? Because as you can see, we are using an int data type. And we know that int data type take 4 bytes of memory. So if the first address is 2120, the next address we will add the 4, so it will be 2124. So that is how the address follows. But for simplicity, we write like this, which is the index. And this is what we call as an array initialization. So here we're putting all the numbers. Now one thing is possible over here. If I write int a, let's say 7, and I'm initializing it to some values, let's say 40, 41, 42, 43. Now this array is also correct. Even if the maximum amount is 7, I have only put 4 numbers, index 0, 1, 2, 3. So this can be also possible. Just one thing you have to remember here is that when you will run this code in the compiler, what it will see is, it will see it like this. It will write 40, 41, 42, 43, and it has 3 numbers less, so it will write 0 over there. This is how it will put, which is completely empty. So in one case, you only have these 4 numbers only. This doesn't make much of a sense because that is given by the compiler. It has put 0. It can be any random number also, but generally it is 0 only. So you will get much more idea about arrays using a program. So let me show you a program of how to implement arrays. So as you can see, I have a very basic array program over here where I have a variable called as numbers, that is an array variable, and it has 5 as the size of the array. And as you can see, I have 5 elements over here, or 5 numbers over here: 7, 5, 6, 12, 35. Index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm printing the numbers. Now how do I print the number? As you can see, I'm using a for loop over here because I have to go index by index. So this I which is there, this I is coming over here. So it is going with the index. That means if I write for I less than 5 and I plus plus, and I'm printing the number. So what this do is, let me show you in the whiteboard. So the array was written here as numbers 5. The numbers were written where 7, 5, 6, 12 and 35. Now see how the for loop is working. So I have for I equal to 0, I is less than equal to 5, I plus plus, or plus plus, both the same. Now see what happens. When I is 0, that means it is going to the numbers 0. That means I'm referring to the 0th index. What is the 0th index? 7. So at first when the loop runs, 7 will be printed. And when I becomes 1, numbers 1 is the next value 5. This way all the numbers will be printed until we reach 35. So that way it is going. So I will be 2, I will be 3, I will be 4. Now this equal to won't come here because we have to go only till 4. That way this array will work. So if I run that piece of code which I had, it should print me all the numbers, that is 7, 5, 6, 12, 35. So let's run the code. So as you can see, 7, 5, 6 and 35. 6, 12, 35. So it is giving me the perfect answer. So basically we're going through indexes, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here if you see, I is starting with 0. It is going till 5. This I value will keep on coming here. 0 will come, 7 will be printed, 1 will come, 5, 2, 6, 3, 12, 4, 35. So very basic way to understand array. So this is what array looks like and this is how array works. If you have any doubt regarding this, you can put down in the comment section.